Welcome to Cohen and Kerr. With the November elections coming up, we are doing our traditional thing of interviewing candidates or having debates. For the Garrisonville district in northern Stafford, we had Mr. Dunheffer on for an interview, and of course we are having Ms. Sellers on. Ms. Sellers is the current supervisor in Garrisonville and is the Democratic nominee. So welcome, Ms. Sellers.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Cool. And is there anything you'd like to start as an opening comment to tell the people about yourself?
Well, you stole my opening comment. I am the current Garrisonville supervisor. I've been on the board for just over 3 years, 3 years and 9 months. And in my spare time, I am in Quantico, serving on contract. So I spend a lot of time here in the community. I have one child here in the community, and I have lived here for my entire adult life, and much of my childhood. So.
Great. Thank you, Laura. Well, first question is about transportation. That's one of the most major concerns facing people in Stafford. So what is your plan to sort of address transportation issues in Stafford?
Transportation is an issue throughout the whole region. Something we spend a ton of time talking about. It's something we fight quite a bit about, too. The biggest issue, right, as I see it, is the funding. How do we fund transportation? And so I personally think North Stafford has done it correctly. North Stafford does have a special tax district that our residents pay into. It's on commercial businesses, but without a doubt, the commercial entities pass it down to the taxpayer. And I'd like to see more of those to start with. There is the regional discussion of the Transportation Authority, which I welcome that discussion. I'd love to hear what people have to say, but I think there's a misunderstanding that it's something new. We have the taxing authority as a region through the George Washington Toll Road Authority. So we have the authority, so the discussion needs to be, do we want to put a number to that authority? It could generate about $30 million is what we're hearing, and that would give us leverage to go to the state and really fight for things smart scale. The other thing we need to do is to continue lobbying in Richmond. The Smart Scale and House Bill 2, as it was previously called, really sets this region at a disadvantage because it doesn't allow us to count traffic and congestion 7 days a week. All we can count is Monday through Friday. And anybody who drives on our highways or drives on our roads knows that traffic isn't just a problem Monday through Friday. If you're here on Sunday afternoon, you will sit in traffic. If you're here on Saturday mornings, you will sit in traffic. So we need Richmond to understand that our traffic problems are not Monday through Friday. Our traffic problems are every day of the week. And to expand the legislation and to allow us to count those and to accurately capture what's going on.
All right. And you brought up lobbying, and I understand you've been very active in lobbying down in Richmond.
Yes, sir. I've been very active lobbying down in Richmond. When I came on the board, the first committee that I went on was the legislative committee with Mr. Sterling. And two things that we started fighting for then have continued on. One, I have championed since I came on this board, and it is special education legislation. The Commonwealth of Virginia interprets federal legislation to be more strict than any other, and somewhat it protects the families. Where it forces our hand to send our kids out of our county. And we cannot put them in our public school system, and it really puts those kids at a disadvantage. So the hardest to teach, the hardest to reach children are being put on buses, and we're sending them to Petersburg, we're sending them to Northern Virginia, they sit in traffic. And so some of the legislation that we've been advocating for is to allow us to teach our students here in Stafford County. We welcome metrics. We want to show, and what we've done and the model that we've taken is we've actually brought folks from all over the Commonwealth here to Stafford and shown them what we're doing differently. We've taken them to the Heather Emfield School for Autism. They're at Drew Middle School. We've shown them what we're doing there and shown them the success rates and showing them that with the right people in place and the right program, a public school system can be as good, if not better, than a private school system. So this year we were very successful, and we got a budget amendment. Only 2 were put in the budget this year. And we did get a budget amendment, and since the legislative season has ended, Stafford County has actually been put on committees, and and named 2 commissions to be a part of drafting what we move forward. So we're very excited about that. The other thing that I've been down there lobbying for is mental health reform. Mental health in Virginia is mostly done by law enforcement, and it's not fair to them. So we are seeing where some of our sheriffs and deputies here in the county, and then law enforcement officers throughout the state, spend 8 to 10 to 12 hours in a hospital with mentally ill folks. The system is you put them in handcuffs, put them in the back of a deputy's vehicle, and then you transport them throughout the state. So we have been in Richmond really lobbying to make sure that our law enforcement officers are protected, to make sure that our therapists are protected, and to really give a voice to those folks who suffer and live with mental illness.
And we have about 2 minutes left. So one of the issues that you were talking about as far as is education, and there's been a great discussion over the years about conflicts between the school board and the supervisors. And with maybe about 1:30 left, can you sort of touch on that? And if we need to, we can come back after our break with that.
Conflicts between the supervisors and school board. A relationship between supervisors and teachers is what's going to matter. I think, I definitely speak for myself, but I probably speak for multiple of my colleagues, that we were as surprised this year to see the school board's budget as anybody else. And we heard about it from teachers who said, we're not getting a pay raise, and we're told it's just because of you guys. So originally I thought, oh, you have to have a great working relationship with the school board, and then since I have said and learned that we really need a better relationship with our teachers, to know what they're going through and to know what's going on from them and not through a third party.
Okay, and we need a better relationship with you, so if you'll come back after the break, we'll have some more questions and answers with Supervisor Laura Sellers. So come back after the break.